All right, so this is my new hire. What's your name, man?
I'm Dillon.
What are you gonna do here?
I'm gonna be cutting some glass.
You're gonna be cutting some glass?
Yeah, I got my new glass cutter right here.
Right on. So, dude doesn't know anything about glass, but we just hired him. He just graduated high school. Yeah, so he just got out of high school, and now we're gonna kick some ass together. I'm gonna turn him into a badass glazer. He wanted to go to trade school, but what better school to not have to pay for it and actually get paid and learn a trade, right?
No, it's
Being a glazer in the next 30 days. Got my guy Dillon cutting his first piece of glass here. Cool. All right, so when it comes to the trucks, we've never done this before. It's something new that we're trying to set up, but we're trying to create standards for everything. So it doesn't matter if I have 10 service trucks, they're all gonna be set up the same, have the same materials, the same tools in the same places. So it doesn't matter if you're working with me, Chris, Rob, any of the guys, if you hop in their truck, it would be the same thing. So you're not going, hey, where are your shims? Where's your set blocks? Where do you keep your long knife? You know, you just hop in and you automatically know where it is. So that's another thing where we're speeding up time, right? We don't keep any trash in the doors. I know there's lots of compartments, but those are not for trash. You know, it's not for receipts, none of that spot. We have our folder that we keep for the day. We keep our receipts in there. And when we return in our checklist, we turn in our receipts, like if we got gas or anything like that, bought any kind of materials throughout the day. Other than that, we keep caulking all in the same place. It's organized. It has like our clear silicone, our mastic, our MP1, white paintable caulk, just like the miscellaneous caulks, and we keep the same amount every day. So if we use 2 clear silicones, at the end of the day when we dump the trash and we're loading the truck for the next day, you'll see a spot where we're missing 2 clear silicones and you'll refill that spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you never have too much, but you never have too little. You know what I'm saying? So it's got like some organized chaos going on. Cool. All right, so what we're gonna do now, we just arrived at our first stop. When we hit On My Way in the app, our office admin assistant called them to let them know that we were on their way. Hopefully they have some keys ready. More than likely this place they won't. But we're gonna need an ID. You can use your driver's license. I use my passport just so I can keep my driver's license in my pocket. And then we have our daily folder where we'll have where we're going. So when we go in there, we can tell them we need keys for 2911 and 2912. They'll notify the tenants or let us know if it's a vacant unit that we can go into. All right, so a good thing about these windows, these are vinyl windows, so they cut out really easy. But it's a double hung window, so it has a tilt sash. You can tilt the sash down, and we don't have to go set up a ladder on the outside. We can actually get to the window right here. These are flat surface stops, so a simple 5-in-1 tool can pop the stop off real easy. You just get right into that groove right there and start popping, and once you can get your fingers behind it, you can usually pull the whole thing out pretty easy. The thing about the sash windows though is they really work on the balance of the weight of the glass. So if you try to take the glass out while it's not back in its latch position and lock position, it'll pop those balancers a lot of times. So as much as it's helpful, you don't want it to break something when you're here to fix something. All right, for some basic common knowledge, this is a low-E piece of glass, meaning it's energy efficiency. So it's not 2 clear pieces of glass over one another. It has a coating on the second surface of the inside pane. So that always has to go to the outside. And I'll have a sticker right here, see where it says low E? That goes to the outside. Otherwise, this window would look like it's a different color than the rest of the glass.
Okay.
So we just got finished with our job. It was vinyl windows. We had 2 vinyl windows at the mansions at Georgetown. These are our tickets. Even though it goes into our app, we're going through a checklist, making sure we did everything in our app accordingly, right? So we know that we went to unit 2911 and 2912. Danny called and let them all know we were on the way. We pressed on my way in the app. Danny called the customer. We forgot to press start, so we couldn't check that one, so we'll make sure we do better on the next one. We didn't need any booties. We had before photos already in the app. We took our after photos. We cleaned our work area. We pressed finish. We checked in with the maintenance man to let him know we were done. we can't collect payment because they're on a net 30 process. We tagged the job accordingly and we asked for a Google review. Is this job complete? Yes. Do we need to go back for any reason? No. How many panes did we install? 2. We get a customer signature, we pressed installed, and then we take a picture of this and put it in the app so Danny knows that the job is complete because he can see right here that it was installed. And we'll also let him know when we call to let him know we're on to the way to the next one. Cool. So something that I do whenever I'm the one actually measuring the window and I know I'm the one coming back to it, definitely if it's a vacant unit that we're working in, is when I go to measure it, I'll go ahead and take off all these vinyl stops right here so that the next guy, whenever you get here, you could just get directly to cutting it out. And so you can actually pull, instead of kind of doing a guesstimation and using math, you can actually pull from the edge of the glass to the edge of the glass and make sure you get your measurement right for your replacement unit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Cool. So on this is just flat vinyl. As you can see the profile of it, it's real flat and it just has a little V shaped at the very bottom, or a J shape. And if you can see right here, it just has a slit. So it just snaps right into there. It's really simple, nice and easy. Sometimes it can be difficult getting out, but if you can start getting it out and then pull and then kind of work your way all the way, then it won't get bent like that and it's easier to replace. So here we're just starting to go a little bit at a time. You don't really want to stay in one area too long because then you'll get it too hot and the glass will break more than it already is. So we're just going to get it nice and loosen up the glue, and then we'll see how this window cuts out. If they're hot melt glue and not like a silicone base, then it's really hard to cut out. But I have a feeling these will just be silicone base, and as long as we get it a little warm, it'll get tacky and we can cut it out pretty good. We got a decently fresh blade, only had been worked on with one job. Sometimes even if it goes like butter, we want to make like a second or third pass. Yeah, just to double check, we can go opposite directions. We heated the top, we'll see how she does. See how we didn't have the torch over that far on that one, so it's still real tacky. So there, we gotta get that corner still pretty good, but that other side is already coming out. We'll start working our way over here. I'm not just gonna stay right on the top, I'm gonna start at least a little bit of this, so as long as I'm cutting really good, I can go ahead and make that corner run, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then once it sticks again, then that's when we'll redo the torch. Not really putting it on the glass itself, but on the edge of that metal and a little bit on the glass to where you're really getting right to where the glue of it all is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. These propane torches last a long time, but that is the only one I have on the truck. So it's always good to have a backup because running out will cause a huge headache in your next job if you don't have it. Fold it so even if the glue is sticking a little bit here, that little bit of fold will break the glue loose. Boom, you're not setting it on the carpet, you're bringing it outside, setting it on a hard surface where it ain't messing nothing up. If it does have a set block on the bottom, I always try to reuse it. Like these are plastic ones, they're made for those windows. Alright, since we saw this one break and crack a whole lot, then we'll come back with our 5-in-1 and we're gonna do a couple drags around there just to get all the excess silicone like that and any broken shards of glass, because that would break the new piece of glass if we set it up and pressurize it against some old shards. So definitely want to concentrate on the area that was broken, because that's probably going to be where the majority of the little shards of glass would be. Something I like to do is just clean out the track with a vacuum really quick. Always have a napkin ready to put around your silicone tip and clean your tip. You want to have a clean tip before you ever start. And then use the other piece as a little guide. The top piece as a guide. See how straight and even that goes on? And you're not even having to do nothing. You're squeezing, but you're pushing the silicone forward more than you're pulling the gun. If that makes any sense to you. You're trying to get a good feed out of that thing. Get our seal, clean our tip, throw it in the bottom with the silicone, with the paper towel where it doesn't get on our stuff. Got the low E sticker face to the outside. We're putting our suction cup on there, pretty nice and center. I like to go a little lower, but still center of the glass. And what the heck? If we are a little short like that, what we'll do is use some set blocks to jack it up. Make sure she's about even on both sides. So here it's just patio door rollers. The door won't roll. Either the rollers have given out completely or they're just maxed out all the way. I can't get my drill in there to make the adjustments I would like to make. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the stationary panel off so that we can pull the patio door slider off. Cool. Patio door situations, they have an L angle right here and an L angle on the bottom to hold the stationary door from moving and sliding around. These were the clip style and they were on the inside, had one at top, one at bottom. We already removed those, but then we're just trying to get this thing out of the jam. All right, so see how this wheels are flush as of right now? If we screw this screw in as tight as it could go, it'll bring those wheels up. And that's all it was. The screw had started backing off. So the height of the wheels lowered in and it wasn't catching the bottom track. So once we raise it up like that, we're good to go. We could have done this without removing the stationary drawer. We could have just pushed this in right here, but it was really hard for me to see, and this shows for a little bit better training. So it took some extra steps, but now you see how to take a patio door apart, how to put it back together, and then where the adjustments made. So usually if you can just get through this hole into that screw, you either reverse it down or screw it back up. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Our slider's operating, we're sliding good. When we go to put the stationary back in, you never want to have the slider all the way pushed over like that, because it has this little J right here, and this one has a J right here, and that's how they interlock, and it'll catch on one another.
If we didn't do it, do we just check it?
Yeah, wear booties if necessary. So okay. We're saying if we would have had to, we would have put them on.
Had before photos. Took after photos.
Yes, sir.
Clean the work area.
Yes, sir.
Report back to, we're not finished.
We'll let them know that in a second, so you can go ahead and click it.
Can't collect.
Right, because it's apartment.
Tag job recording.
We need to go in and do that. There's our reminder, but you can check it, and we'll
the job complete.
Yes, sir.
You need to go back.
No. How many panes installed? 1. We'll get a signature, and then I got my man Dillon already running his first caulk bead, and we're only on our 4th window for the day. All right, so these are called screw applied stops. Really simple. I really like messing with screw applied stops. Looks like these are missing some screws. So key would be to not lose any screws at the moment. Pull all your screws out. All right, you take my screws. Cool. Man, look at all those June bugs already. Stops.
You hand it to me.
Stop. 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 Cool. First day on the job. Got my man Dillon already deglazing storefront. So we're about to rip this whole sucker out. Got a door in this one, store it, let them come back. And then we'll come back and install it on it. So this one was a little different than the other 3 we did because it was so rotted out here on the top that it started to sag and it was sitting on my frame. Took forever. So had these guys all hopped in, helped me beat up that header up there so we could pull the frame out.